Hi, my name is Tavin Jorgensen, and I'm going to be showing you the mobile controls port for this game here. This will be building off of the gamepad control port. I'll be using a little bit different system for this than Malik used for the last section. He relied more on the input manager, but the input system, which is the newer input system, is a little bit easier to use for this sort of thing. So to start this off, we're just going to make a new UI element, or a new canvas, right? We can just name this mobile UI. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and add a image to that, a UI image, and this will be our joystick right here. Okay, we can change the anchor point to the corner, make it easier to move around. Let's go ahead and go back into our scene so we can see things better. Okay, let's go ahead and stick that right around there. Alright, and this is basically just going to be our joystick. We're going to add on-screen stick component to this. And then for control path, we're going to go to gamepad and left stick. So what this is going to do, it's just going to simulate the left stick of the gamepad being used. And if I go ahead and run this real quick, then you can see this moves around. It's not doing anything right now because we don't have it set up to actually work. But I'm going to go ahead and change the radius on that so it's a little bigger. There, just for look's sake. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back into the input system package, and you can see here we've got a move action. I believe should have already been shown this part, but it just has the left stick gamepad tagged to it, and from here right now the input for the game isn't using this input system, so what we're going to do is we're going to change our player control script so that it will use it. So if we hop over here, first thing we're going to need to do is include that we're using Unity Engine input system. Okay, and then we're going to go down here. This is where the player movement is defined. Here it is, right here, get player movement. Okay, and I don't want to mess with anything else that people have made, so I'm not going to replace this from the other input system. I'm just going to add a simple if statement. Let's see, for controls. Alright, so for mobile controls here, we can just set a float for the joystick value, and that is equal to gamepad dot current $R. Right, and then from here, I just want to check and see if joystick is not equal to 0, then we're going to set our move value to the joystick value. And this is just saying that if someone's using the mobile controls, then it's going to override the normal controls, which is fine. And then the other thing we need to do is just make sure that gamepad dot current is not equal to null. Oops. Because if it is, then it would run into some issues. So this should just prevent it from crashing. Right, and then there that is set up. So now movement should be based on our controller. And then we're just going to run this and test it out. Back over here and see it on the mobile controls. So that's working great there. And then the next thing we want to do, we just want to add like a button to jump, because right now we can't jump. So we'll go back over here to our mobile UI and then add another image. And this will just be the jump button. Alright. And we're going to add component. Instead of on-screen stick, we're going to do on-screen button. And this is going to go to our gamepad button south, because that is the button on the gamepad that is mapped to jumping. So we're going to do a similar thing. Go back over here. You can see jumping is handled right here. Okay. So I'm just going to replace this because all this part right here is doing is grabbing the jump button from the gamepad. And this will do the same thing. I do need to still make sure that the gamepad is not equal to null. And then also I will be checking for gamepad current. Yeah, here, let me go back here. Current, okay. Button south was pressed this frame. Okay, and we'll go back over here and recompile it. So move this button over into the corner where it's going to go. Okay, and go ahead and run that. Alright, and we can see that that's jumping. This is moving left to right. Everything seems to be working great. Okay, and then currently there's no way to pause it from mobile, so we're going to add one more button. And go another image. I'm just going to do that. Pause. Drag it back there. Okay. And then we're going to add a component, another on-screen button. And for this one, it's going to be the start button on the gamepad. Alright, and then similar thing, except instead of editing player controls, the pause menu is handled in the pause menu script. So we're going to go over there and then add a similar thing to what we just added. Let's first, I'm just going to copy this code here, and then also make sure to add using Unity engine dot input system. Okay, and then I'm just going to paste this in here, and button south, instead of button south, it's going to be the start button. Okay, and if you're looking for more names for what these buttons are called, you can look that up on the Unity website. Just look up the input system, and it should have more information about what the other buttons on the controllers are called. Okay, and so now we can go back here. It's going to recompile. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay, I'm just going to move that up there and then go ahead and run it. Okay, perfect. So move left to right, jump, and pause. Still pause and unpause. And then the last thing that we want to do is I'm going to go into assets here, and obviously these buttons don't look super nice. So what you can do, you can just look up some sprites for like mobile control buttons. So I'll just create a new folder here, mobile UI, right, and then go into here, and I already have some sprites downloaded. Okay, so I've got my sprites open here, and I'm just going to copy a couple of these over. We'll use this for a joystick, and then this for pause, and then this one for jump. So we're just going to copy those over and go back into our game here. And for the joystick, we can just pop this sprite in. For our jump button, we'll just do that. And then for pause, we'll just throw this one in, and we can make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to press. There. Move it a little bit further this way so it's not getting covered by the menu. And I'll do the same with these. Okay. Alright, we'll run that. Yep, there's that. It looks much nicer now. Jump, pause, move around, and you can add any other features you want, but that's the basics for it. And then the very last thing we need to do, just create a script, and this is just going to be so that we can enable and disable the mobile UI. So mobile UI based on what platform the game is running on. So we don't need the update function. So all we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and do game object dot. Okay, so again, we just do game object dot set active, and then application dot is mobile platform, and this just returns a true or false, and it'll set it active if it's a mobile platform, and if it's not, then it will disable it. Okay, and then we're going to run this one last time, and you'll see the controls should disappear. Okay, and even though it shows it as a mobile device here, it's going to read it as a computer. Okay. Alright, and there you have it. Mobile controls are gone. And then if you run this on an actual phone or mobile device, then they'll show back up. And that about does it. Thank you.